first we say hello to the camera. You never know. Hello everybody, today I'm at BKC-IH Moscow yet again.
Yay.
And I'll be talking to Anka Zapart. Say hello.
Yes, hi.
And she'll be giving a talk at the forthcoming conference, Moscow BKC-IH Teacher Training Conference. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
And first one, yes. Speaking of very young learners,
Yes,
so
please.
today
Always.
I learned something new. Like for me, young learners, it's just they're young and they're learners because that's it. I mean, because when somebody asks me if I teach kids, I say older than 26 years old. So I teach those kind of kids. But basically, this is not your.
Where is my blacklist? No, kidding.
No,
I'm open-minded. I just have my own favorite.
My first teaching experience ever was, I guess, very young. So what age is it?
It depends on the country, really, but essentially, no, because there are there is a lot of confusion related to how we basically label them. But essentially, there are two things, really. They don't go to school yet, and they don't read and write, essentially, in English, that is. So that means that, for example, when I was at the conference last year, people from Greece told me that 5 is no longer considered pre-primary because they already go to school. So of course you can see how much the environment and being in the classroom, to what extent this is going to influence how they behave and what expectations, inverted commas, they might have of what's going to happen, what the classroom is going to be like. So for that reason, they are not considered pre-primary anymore. So
I see.
It depends on the country.
So as my first experience was the kids were 3-4 years old.
Yes, pre-primary. Yes.
I mean, for you, so you mean this?
You survived. Good.
I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I knew nothing about teaching. It was like long before the CELTA, but it was such a lot of fun. You can legally have a lot of fun, and people keep paying you for that. So that's why. Yeah. It's not that I don't like it. But now
everybody has their own area and interests. Absolutely.
I just like teaching, so now it's adults. Okay. Right. Anyway, but there is young learners and there is very young learners, and you chose this. Yes. And on the website it says that it's a very recent thing in ELT.
It is, yes, because for a very long time this was just a niche. I mean, it's still considered a niche in a way, but now there are definitely more learners. And if you look only at BKC or even at Moscow, like, it's not only we do, for example, at BKC we have classes twice a week, for example, once a week, 45 minutes. So there is little exposure, but there are bilingual kindergartens in Moscow, and there are monolingual kindergartens as well. Many parents decide to bring up their children with English as the second language as well. So especially in Moscow, but I think also in Russia or in Europe as well. This is not only because Asia is a big market as well. So.
I see. Yeah, but you mostly work in Moscow for now?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just speak about this here. So as I understand that this ELT, everything focused on very young learners as well, is kind of market driven, right? Or because more, as you said, more parents want their kids to start learning English right away. I mean, maybe sometimes even before they're born, on Instagram they say there's very, very young learners.
Yeah, very, very. I think partly what is responsible for that is the idea, the critical period hypothesis, when it emerged that you have to start early in order to be able to get good results. And research now that has been done, like there are two different options. The very young learners community, we try to defend our right to be, big words. And there are also quite a few researchers who say that it's not valid, that, it's just basically a pile of made up ideas, so that it doesn't really matter. But it's true. I wouldn't want to say that. There are many teenagers, for example, they learn faster. Their brain is better, wired properly. They can do it much faster. It's true. There are adults who are extremely talented, who start learning English, I don't know, at 45, 60, I don't know, even later, and they can get good results. So I wouldn't want to say that those approaches or the attitude, views, that they have to exclude each other. But to be honest with you, I've tried. So maybe something has been done recently that I've tried, and there is no research that has been a long-term study dealing with students who are learning in our environment twice a week, 45 minutes, very little exposure at home, and following them through their educational process from the age of whatever, 3 until the age of 15, and compare them with a typical, typical teenagers, all the teenagers who start, for example, at the age of 12, and what results, and this research has not been done
yet.
Hopefully, because it is a lot of work, but this would be the only, opportunity for us to actually say yes, it works or it doesn't work, because all the other opinions are like,
So I mean, it's more of a matter of choice, really. So I mean, if they don't, because I think now many parents have this fear, because for most of them, when they're adults, my group, they're like, for them, they remember their experience of learning English, and for them it's like, I've been doing it all my life and I'm still a failure. So that's why I think maybe they want their kids to start. But again, if they, for example, if their kid starts when he's, I'm sorry, I'm just not kidding. If for some reason their kid starts learning English at school, they can still,
it depends
be good
on how hard they try. It depends on the teacher. It depends on whether they want to do it, why they want to do it. Sometimes if it's only because parents want it, then it's, a tricky area, of course. I started learning English when I was 14. So by, judging by, maybe there's some talent involved, maybe. But, I should have not had the ability to pronounce words properly.
And teachers definitely shouldn't have been
No,
involved.
but really, So I started quite late, and somehow I managed to get there, hopefully.
No, you are.
So see, there are
definitely. Okay.
There are different options. Yeah.
I see. Thank you very much for being so honest about it.
I guess.
So looking forward to your talk about pairway, because I can't imagine kids.
No, but also maybe to
3-year-old kids in pairs.
It's possible. It's possible, and then just to balance maybe what I've said. Those kids that start learning early, I cannot judge by many kids. I don't know all the kids in Moscow, but for example, just judging by those that are studying with me, they're just absolutely amazing. And for example, we are still early, but judging their listening skills, by their listening skills or by their speaking skills, they still cannot read and write.
Oh no!
But the whole, the progress that they've made and how comfortable they feel with English, it's absolutely amazing. Like absolutely amazing.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
See you.
Goodbye.